A South African psychic went on to share what late rapper AKA Kenan Forbes told her about his untimely passing. The rapper was deleted in front of his entourage on a busy street as he left Wish restaurant in Durban last year at the beginning of Feb 2023. The psychic also reveals what AKA allegedly says happened to Anele and how he really felt about Nadia, who he was dating at the time of his passing. I'm going to do part 1 and part 2 because the psychic reading was a bit long. I'll leave a link to part 2 on the comment section of this video.
To those that have been hurt. So please guys, let us just get that out of the way. Please be respectful in the comments and understand where I am coming from. Alright, so this particular person that I will be talking about today, it is a well-known artist by the name of Kenan Forbes, also known as AKA. So please note that everything that I'm saying now, I'm just trying to remember the session that I actually had when I was channeling his spirit. So I talk a little bit slow because I'm trying to remember everything. And please note that I hope that AKA's family does hear about this, and if it brings them closure, then I'm quite happy. It is in no way, trying to get publicity or anything like that, but just to bring across a message of hope and bringing them closure. Alright, so AKA did take me through the emotions and feelings that he had on that particular day, but I'm gonna try to speak faster because we only have 10 minutes on here. So before we begin, so 2 years after, yes, 2 years before, how do I say this? So 2 years before AKA passed away, he was in a relationship with a lady called Anele. I think she was AKA's
there you have it,
fiance,
guys. The comment
and
that
we
stood
do
out
know
for
that
me is when someone
Anele passed
commented
away
that
very,
Julius
very
said
much
he wants to be
tragically as
provoked
well.
so that he can start
But
revealing secrets. It
I'm
remains
going
to
to
be
also
seen
talk
where
about
this
that, but just
drama between
briefly,
Shivambu and
so that you
Julius will
understand where I'm
head to
going
in
with
the
this.
new year.
So
A question that is on everyone's mind is who
So I
will
am being
abandon
shown that
Julius
these
Malema
people
next
were
and
in
who
a
will join
hotel and they
MK.
were
Do let me
arguing.
know your
So
thoughts in
there
the
was a
comment
heated
section below. Don't
argument that
forget
was
to watch the
happening in
other
the
videos
hotel
because
room,
keeping
and
day
this
two before and
argument
after
was
my
between
videos. Also
AKA
subscribe
and
and hit the
Anele.
notification bell to get
Now,
notified of
as
future
the
YouTube and
argument
gossip.
progressed,
See you
it
on the
got to a
next one.
point whereby it was the couple decided that, you know what, we are gonna call it quits. So obviously the other one did not take well to that, and that is where Anele took the drastic step of telling AKA that I am going to jump off this balcony. Of course AKA told her that please do not do that, but because the argument was so heated and things like breaking off this engagement and all of that were being said, Anele's emotions were heightened. So she did. I'm seeing AKA walking out of the room and Anele continuing to step onto the balcony. And what happened here, this is what will bring about the understanding of what actually happened to Anele. So basically Anele stepped onto that on the balcony with the thought of scaring AKA that I'll actually jump off this balcony. But it was not her intentions to jump off. She just wanted to scare AKA to let him know that I'm actually gonna do this. But unfortunately, because they were arguing, there were so many things said, she slipped and she fell. Okay, so please note, she slipped and he fell. This is what AKA continues to make me feel, and also as well as Anele's spirit, this is what she continued to make me feel, that she got onto the balcony and it was actually her attempt to scare AKA off, but unfortunately she fell off the balcony and it was ruled out as suicide. And then it started going around that AKA was violent, he might have pushed her. No, AKA did not push her off the balcony. It was a heated argument and she slipped. Alright, and then we move on to AKA. So before AKA passed away, I am seeing that I'm trying to rush this because we only have 10 minutes. So I am seeing that so after the death of Anele, AKA continued with his life, but there wasn't any cleansing that was done. There was nothing that was done, and to be honest, Anele's spirit never really left AKA, and because of this, AKA was followed by death. He was followed by death, and because given the fact that the family was thought that AK was not in good standing with Anele's family because of what happened to their daughter. So AKA was in no way able to visit Anele's grave or anything of that sort. So because of that, it created him being followed by death. So AKA was obviously promoting his work, and one of the places that he chose was Durban. But I am seeing that 2 months prior his death, there had been I'm seeing people gathered together, and I'm seeing a group of almost 6 people gathered together talking about, murdering him. And I am seeing that the one person is actually a very prominent person. This person is not well known, but he is very strong, and he has a lot of money, and seeming to have a personal vendetta against AKA, given the fact that also what happened with the story around his fiance. So I am seeing that this man hired 5 hitmen, and on the day that AKA was assassinated, I'm seeing that 3 guys were hitmen, and then 2 were in the car. So upon the 3, 1 was inside the club. These 2 were the ones that were outside of the restaurant. Now, on that particular day, AKA continues to make me feel that he was so happy. He says that physically, that was one of the happiest days of my life. I was so free. I was just so happy. It's like almost as if I knew that this was my last day on earth. So he wants to let the family know that. But before I get to that, let me just finish off explaining what happened on that particular day. So there has been I am seeing also a very caramel skinned guy who was in AKA's group. This person was working with AKA on his project, but unfortunately this guy was in contact with the people that were planning on assassinating AKA. Now this guy, as I describe him, he's a guy who never cuts his hair. So his hair is like he pats it down so it looks like it's short, but he has a lot of hair. So this guy was the one that was feeding. He was the one that was feeding this mogul or this big guy all the information about AKA's whereabouts and what he's doing. So on that particular day when they were in the restaurant, they were in constant communication about his doings and everything. And obviously when they stepped out of the restaurant, that's when they gunned him down. And they will not find the killers because the person that is responsible for AKA's murder is very strong. He works with the police, so it's going to be very difficult to get in contact to get him arrested. But as for the hitmen, I am seeing that the hitman that actually shot AKA with 2 bullets to the head, he is a 22-year-old who stays in Durban. He has been a hitman. Okay, this is about to end, but I'm going to do a part 2.